Explain how the redistribution of blood flow occurs and evaluate how this process can benefit a rugby player throughout a match. So, as always, we're going to get 2 marks for AO1, which are our points showing a bit of knowledge, 2 marks for AO2, which are our explanation or examples, and 5 marks, up to 5 marks for AO3, which is our evaluation and our conclusions. So for AO1, some of the points that you can make need to relate to the redistribution of blood flow. So first of all, we want to say what this is. And it's when oxygen is redistributed away from inactive areas towards active areas during exercise. We can also think about vasodilation and vasoconstriction. So there's some key terms which we can define here. So vasodilation widens the diameter of the arteries, supplying oxygenated blood to active areas. And vasoconstriction does the opposite. It narrows the arteries, supplying oxygenated blood to inactive areas. So if you put 2 of those 3 points, you're showing some good knowledge there of the redistribution of blood flow. For our AO2, so our explanations, we can delve a little bit deeper into what vasoconstriction and vasodilation actually do, and relate this to a rugby match as well. So vasoconstriction, which we said was the narrowing of arteries, it prevents as much blood flow or oxygen getting to inactive areas such as the digestive system during a rugby match. So we've given a good example of an inactive area there of the digestive system. Vasodilation ensures that enough oxygen gets to the active muscles such as the quadriceps, hamstrings, during a rugby match. So again, we're showing some knowledge of the sport of rugby and of vasodilation there. For our AO3, for our evaluation, we want to go into a little bit more detail. So we could say that the intensity levels will change frequently throughout a match between running, jogging, walking, and rest. So we're showing a knowledge of different intensities required within rugby. During periods of high intensity, such as when a player sprints towards the try line, vasodilation will occur to ensure that the required oxygen reaches the active areas. So we've given a really specific example there from the sport of rugby. During periods of rest, vasoconstriction would also occur after recovery has taken place. Towards the end of the match, when the rugby player is beginning to get fatigued, redistribution of blood flow is very important to keep performance levels high. So we're making a direct link to the performance within the sport of rugby. And finally, another example of an AO3 point is that the redistribution of blood flow can also help to get more oxygen to the leg muscles following a sprint, helping to repay oxygen debt and remove lactic acid. So again, you're linking up different topics here, and you're showing the examiner that you've got a real knowledge of lactic acid and oxygen debt and what happens towards the end of a match or following some anaerobic activity such as a sprint.